It is so good to be back with you again this week. I can't wait to share with you in the next few moments the jet fuel laxative that will make your eyelashes grow. What could that be? Don't go away. As PREPSTEADERS, I think it's really important for us to know our oils. And I have just now started experimenting with learning all about them, and there's so much to learn, so I'm not the expert yet. But I have been on a mission to learn what the most versatile across all the different fields is going to be. And that's why when I found one that was used in jet fuel and also as a laxative and also to make hair grow, I thought, hey, I got to tell you about this one. This is one for all of us to have in our PREPSTEADERS pantries. Let me tell you just a little bit about it. Today we're going to talk about castor oil. Now, I'll bet you've heard of it, and especially those of you who might be over 50 years old probably grew up with your mother thinking or your grandmother thinking that this was the cure-all if you got sick. I've heard stories where it didn't matter what kind of sick you were, that you just needed to have a big old spoonful of castor oil as the thing that was going to fix you up. Now, unfortunately, that probably wasn't really true, but a lot of you probably made some trips to the bathroom very quickly after that. In fact, it's known to be a very effective laxative. And so if you are constipated, taking a spoonful of this in about 2 to 3 hours, you should be finding yourself needing to make a bathroom run. It's very, very effective, so be careful because it actually can be too effective. Don't take too much because that can make it kind of dangerous for your body. But remember that that's a good thing that it does do if you needed it. It's so handy for other things though. Some of you men are all into growing your beards out these days. And did you know that this is one of the main things that's going to be recommended to you if you want your hair to grow, whether you are a man or a woman? Now, in fact, I will say there are many studies out there that people claim to think this helps regrow hair that has thinned. I cannot prove that that's true or false, so please don't ask me. I won't know the answers to all of that. I do know, however, that it is used very effectively and scientifically proven to help grow your eyelashes and your eyebrows. For those of you who like really thick eyebrows, I was born with mine and I don't need them any thicker, so no, I don't put this in mine. But some of you that were born with thin ones and want more, you can put some of this in your eyebrows to help them grow. And those of you men who like to have a thick beard, this will help that grow. I did make sure I read up on it, and it said that no, indeed, if you have just a woman's face and you're not wanting to grow a beard, you can put it on your skin, and it won't make you grow a beard if you aren't supposed to have hair there. So don't worry about that. But I thought it was interesting. This castor oil that I have here, I bought off of Amazon, and it even came with a free little mascara wand here to apply it, empty bottle that I can fill up with the castor oil and apply it to my eyelashes every night before bed so that I can have long eyelashes. I recommend this much more than the fake eyelashes or the extensions you can get. Now, I will say this, it's effective on your eyes, but it's also a little bit dangerous. Interestingly, it has been around, castor oil has been around for like 4,000 years. You'll see it recorded in different historic writings. And the Egyptians used it very commonly in their oil lamps. And even Cleopatra is said to have used it to whiten the whites of her eyes so that they were nice and bright. And myself and the cameraman were trying to figure out why would she have done that, and we thought, well, maybe she lived in the desert, maybe she had dry eyes, because castor oil is something that sometimes is prescribed to people with chronic dry eyes to help with putting drops in their eyes so that they are replenished if you don't have tears of your own. Now, that was a whole lot of speculation on our part, but I did think it was pretty cool that Cleopatra used it in her own eyes. Now, there are several reasons why I would highly recommend that every PREPSTEADER has castor oil in their PREPSTEADERS pantry. And part of that I've already mentioned, but let's just recap. It's excellent as a laxative. It's excellent for hair growth, but also it has been used in antifungal ointments and is useful in different skin treatments, like treating skin ulcers. If you have anything like that that comes up, it's good for that. It is so similar to the oil that comes from your own skin that it is very moisturizing and healing to your skin and antibacterial. However, it is recommended that you don't just put it on your face and leave it there for long periods of time because it's such a thick oil. Let me just show you that. It is such a thick viscosity there as an oil that it's going to likely clog the pores and could even create a little bit of acne because it kind of stops them up from being able to breathe. So be careful as to how much you apply to your face. It is healing in other ways though. Throughout history, castor oil has been known as one of the most versatile oils. Now, if you're not familiar with where it comes from, it is from the castor bean plant, or sometimes you hear it even called the castor oil plant. It grows out in fields and has been cultivated for centuries, and it has been used in all kinds of studies. Castor oil really became popular around World War I, right there in the early 1900s when those first using the fighter planes, and they were trying to get them as light as possible, and someone introduced castor oil as an option to be used in those fighter planes. Turned out to be a fantastic winner and was used in all kinds of engines from that time, especially up through the 60s and 70s. And since that time, we've had all these synthetic oils and things kind of take the limelight and the scene. But it was incredibly popular as one of the best oils you could have in your engines, whether it was a jet engine, whether it was a muscle car, whether it was racing motorcycles, used it in their engines. And it just was known as a really good high heat oil that was able to be used. Since then, they're always improving and have added things to it and changed it a little bit, but there still is the company around that you can find in the store, that well-known brand of oil for your car called castor oil. And go to any store today and it probably even has some in it. I would like to know that. I don't know personally, and you can tell me if you know if there is still castor oil in the Mopar or engine oil that you buy at the store. Also, there are so many men who will remember how wonderful the smell of castor oil is when it's burned in through an engine. And I don't know that smell, so some of you can attest to that in the comments below and tell us your remembrances of that. But evidently they say it smells wonderful when it's put through an engine. It is an all-natural product though. This that I'm holding in my hand has all kinds of different things that it claims. It softens and nourishes your skin. It's a natural oil, which is good. It's non-GMO and vegan. But what is so interesting is that this oil here has one of the highest, it can handle the most heat of so many different natural plant-based oils out there. For instance, it doesn't even boil until it reaches 595 degrees Fahrenheit. Can you believe that? I think that's somewhere around 313 degrees Celsius, which is just tremendously hot before it ever would boil. So that makes it perfect for handling whatever an engine is going to put it through. My point in all of this is that I want you to recognize how versatile this oil might be for you in the event of an emergency. Not only can I use it in the kitchen or in the bathroom or out in the car, if I had to have one oil that could handle all those different areas, this would be the one I choose. Do remember that you want to store it in an airtight container, and you want to store it out of the light. So somewhere in a dark closet or a dark pantry, in an airtight container, and the cooler the better, but it does not need to be stored in the refrigerator for it to last for a long while. Now, there are probably things that I have not even given it credit for that you can tell us about. So if you use castor oil on your farmstead or your homestead or in an urban environment that I haven't even thought of, think of so many things we use oil for nowadays. In fact, cooking is one of them. And yes, it could be used in a pinch, but in small quantities, because remember, it's a pretty effective laxative. but there are all kinds of ways you can use this oil. So that's why I wanted to recommend it to you today. Take the time to share with us below how you use it around where you live. Take the time to share this video with somebody else that you love who might appreciate it. Take some time to tell us how it does when you've rubbed it into your beard and waited about 2 weeks to see what happens. And we'll see you next time. Until then, God bless you, and go out and be a blessing to someone today. Before you go, I would love to share this bit of scripture out of the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, and it's verses 29 and 30. It says this: "A wicked man puts on a bold face, but the upright gives thought to his ways. No wisdom, no understanding, no counsel can avail against the Lord." It even goes on to say, "The horse is made ready for the day of battle, but victory belongs to the Lord." Now go share the word.